to Budee's Observations module, which, to easily understand what observations are, is to understand that observations are really synonymous with tasks. In the world of safety, we chose observations in a sense of seeing something unsafe, record it, and assign it to the appropriate employee to take action and correct an unsafe condition. Observations have many facets. First, any employee can record an observation from their mobile device. The second is that observations can be added to several fields in reports. There is an icon next to the name for a quick ability to record and tie an observation to a field in a report. The third is that a field in a document can have triggers attached to options, a radio group, a select, or a checklist that will prompt an employee to record an observation. Starting with recording an observation, in the mobile app, you can find observations with the eyeball in the bottom corner. At the top of the screen, the Report New Safety Observation button, and now the form will show up for us to fill out. Description: quick or even long form description of what is unsafe or the task that needs to be performed to resolve the issue. Photographs: take pictures of the unsafe condition or job site. As many as needed will be attached to this observation, or you can select it from your camera roll. Assign to: any employee currently on site at this project location. Report anonymously: if an employee wants to anonymously report an observation, their name will be hidden in the reports throughout the application. Fix by date: if an appropriate deadline for the resolution of this observation is required, this can be set here. Now that it is understood what an observation is, let's run through a few more examples of how observations are captured in Budee. In the first example, an employee is going to make an anonymous observation that a colleague was not wearing correct PPE while on duty. A first and second shift employee was not wearing protective sleeve while disc grinding. Assigned to Maddie Samuels. Report anonymously. There. We just submitted a safety observation. In a second example, an employee filling out a report will elect to add an observation to a field. The report is a basic daily check-in. The employee will add the observation to it that requires safety related to extreme heat in the forecast over the next 2 weeks. After navigating the documents and clicking New Submission on the check-in form, we're presented with the templated document previously built. Let's go ahead and fill this out with some dummy data. The weather. As we're going to indicate extreme heat in this weather field, we're going to go ahead and tap this observation icon here. And we're going to proceed to fill out an observation. Extreme heat, need water stations to be refilled and a shaded area to be erected for the next 2 weeks. Now this is just an emulator, so I can't actually use the camera, but I could take some pictures of where I want that shaded area. And I'm going to go ahead and assign it to Graham Evans. Fix by, I'm going to say tomorrow. There. Now this observation is attached to this field right here, and I'm going to go ahead and submit this document. All right, in a third example, An employee performing an audit report will be required to report an observation related to a field that was answered no. We're going to fill out the slips, trips, and falls checklist. We'll just fill this out with some dummy data. And I'm going to answer no to this "Are aisles marked?" question. I was immediately prompted by the system as triggered by the answer I selected for no on "Are aisles marked?" And I'm going to proceed to submit a safety observation of this failed aspect of this audit report. There was no reflective tape on the ground indicating an aisle, a safe aisle to walk in. Publish that one. Okay. All right, so now that we've recorded 3 safety observations 3 different ways on the mobile, let's take a 4th example here. Let's take a look at open observations and let's resolve one. There's 2 places you can see open observations. There's this screen, and there's also on the home screen, if you're actually assigned an observation, you can see it pop up here as well. So these are assigned to me. They're on my home screen. They're readily available for me to take a look at. Going over here to the observations home screen, we've got a select drop down at the top. Assigned to you. These are open observations that are assigned to you. Currently open. These are all open observations project-wide. Closed by you. These are observations that you personally closed previously. These are all closed observations project-wide. Heading over to the home screen, I'm going to go ahead and click on this observation we just created. There was no reflective tape on the ground, and I'm going to indicate new reflective tape down on ground to indicate safe aisle, and I'll resolve it. There. It's no longer available here on this menu, and over here, closed by me, there it is. No longer open, or no longer assigned to me, but yeah, that's the gist of it from the mobile perspective. Let's switch over to the web. Now that we've reported observations in 3 separate methods on the mobile app, let's take a look at the administrative perspective on the website. Starting in the dashboard, you can see a chart here indicates 3 new observations today and the observations themselves below in this table. Over to the observations tab. This has more powerful filtering ability for you to view observations. Let's take a look at the filters. Status. All observations, just open observations, or just closed observations. Created date. So only observations that have been created in this date range. Viewing. Project-wide, all observations at this project. Assigned to, all observations assigned to a specified user. Reported by, all observations reported by a specific user. Graham hasn't reported any, but Maddie Samuels has reported 3. Resolved by, Maddie Samuels has resolved 1 observation. Fixed by date. Here we go. Friday, August 4th, required fixed by date. There's the observation. And there's also a way to search by document submissions. I believe it was the slips, trips, and falls checklist, or maybe it was the check-in. There. We've got the documents we filled out here. We have the specific observation tied to that document submission. Using these various filtering conditions, it should be easy to find any observations reported in this project. As you change and select various filters, the toolbar above adapts to show, so you can see what the current filters are here. And that's pretty much the gist of observations on the Budee platform. Thanks.